stuff the box. I mean, again, if we have the DB we say we have early on, again, as Chiles, comes out and has a great performance and throws for 75% and has a 300. I mean, I think that's where our strength is. So let's lean on that a little bit, right? Let's get a little bit closer to the box and be faster with our fits. Um, obviously they can throw the ball over the top, but again, if we got the guys in secondary we say we have, as far as coverage guys, then let's see those guys operate one game where we're being super aggressive in the run. And if we get a big play in the pass, you'll take one or two of them, as long as we get them tackled down the ground. But just want to see them be more aggressive in the run fit. Force their hand, make them be a passing team, get them in second and long, third and long situations.
Michael, as you look at kind of the differences between Michigan and Michigan State, I think a lot of people kind of go to the low-hanging fruit of both mobile quarterbacks, although I actually think Chiles is kind of more dynamic with his legs than Underwood is at this point in his career. And then Michigan State, obviously, I think, you tell me if I'm wrong, has a much better receiving core than Michigan
Well,
did.
he's a top 2-round guy.
Yeah. For Nick Marsh?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at Nebraska, does that concern you at all when you're saying, hey, because that was my philosophy against Michigan, hey, load up on the run, make Underwood beat you with his arm. Does that give you any more pause considering some of the differences between Michigan and Michigan State?
And Marsh looks like a day 2 guy, doesn't he? I mean,
yeah. Well, I don't know what grade he is in, but yeah, he get out of school, son.
The sophomore, I think.
Yeah,
I think he still got one more year.
He may have one more year. All right, we'll come back. We'll have him for one more year. I'll say this. I think the difference is this. I think Aidan Chiles is definitely a obviously more experienced and seasoned version of Underwood, but I think with more athletic ability with his legs. So I think he tends, at least for me, I think he might be able to do some things more with design runs, schematically than I think Underwood might be able to do, especially this early in his career. So I think that's where the biggest difference for me is. And I think I think Childs is a good passer, but again, last week when you see USC put a lot of pressure on him, D-line linebackers, it was blitzing, it was coming after him. And he struggled to be accurate in those type of situations. When they were in man-to-man, outside of really the time that guy fell down, USC was in some good situations. So like to see the place man free. Let's shoot the backers in some gaps. I want to say the S word, right? We're gonna stun a little bit. Let's create some freaking havoc.
The number 1 stunner. I like
That's what we need, man.
Who bothers you more, number 1 or number 6?
Oh, 6 to move the sticks, but one for the big play. I think six a good. About 6'2", 6'3". Marsh, I believe.
Marsh is a big boy. Kelly's a small guy.
Kelly's good though.
Kelly's small guy, but he's gonna be the guy I think that's gonna kind of be that dominant or that chess piece, right? They can move around a little bit, put in the slot, can play outside too. You get him on those middle screen, tunnel screens, bubbles, things like that. Um, I think they both equally have their skill sets. I think that if you're Butler, right, you want to see your so-called NFL caliber DBs go up against and have consistently good reps against. But again, I think Kelly probably is the guy probably with both have a colored jersey at practice DB. You know how that goes, but Kelly's probably the number 1 target. He's no more priority for sure.
You're gonna be 6 this week. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're gonna be.
And all you heard in the DB meeting was be physical with him.
Yep. And you hate to hear Turbo do it again.
Yep.
Yeah, you're getting smoked.
Yep.
So how about up front though? It seems like Nebraska can make some hay with this offensive line.
For sure, yeah.
The goal is always to win the game.
Right.
But how do you guard against fool's gold being opponent specific? Because it's opponent specific.
I think obviously you have to watch out for that, but I think now you have 4 games. You know what I mean? You have 4 or 5 games of tape of seeing the team. So I think they've consistently shown it, even in the clips, these highlights of the Youngstown State game. There were some times, they were giving up pressures and things like that, and not just pass rush. Even in the run game, right? Guys crossing, guys, O linemen allowing guys across their face, to stop some runs. So obviously, again, we don't want to get into the fall back into kind of the Oklahoma, Michigan thing, like, hey, they did this, so let's do this. But again, I think it's in our bag. I mean, it's not too far stretched, like we talked about during the bye week, right? For what we do, like, is this what we do? Is this who we are? And obviously, reports coming out of the bye week, they got some things settled down. So, um, I would like to see them. I would like for them to go in the game believing, hey, we are no worse than either teams you guys face. We should be able to have the same results against you. And I think maybe is that confidence, is that arrogance coming off of Michigan? I don't know. But if everybody's as pissed off as they say they are, right, I want to see hair on fire attacking what looks to be a unit that has struggled to, keep Childs from off the ground in the pass game, but also give up a lot of run pressures too. So I want to see attack. Let's go attack. If it's fool's gold, it's fool's gold. We'll still pay with it.
That's a great line.
Oh man. So MRI, it's interesting too because I think sitting on a loss with all those narratives that were coming out, I, for a play, now this is players and coaches. Like that's easy motivation, right? It's like,
Right.
we took the L. People think this. We're going to show this, and
Hmm.
but then there's this thing where it's like you listen to the press conferences, and you're going to get the collective eye roll. And I'm thinking to myself, for people out there, what I'd like for them to understand, and they don't have to buy it. It's when coaches talk about being upset or an intense week of practice, a lot of that is set by the players sitting on the loss, right? It's not
Right.
just coach speak because it's a bye and you want to get tougher and all these other things. Like some of that is just because players' temperaments, like they want to get after it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you're walking around campus, you're going to class. I mean, you having conversations with family and friends. Like, people are talking, especially with, kind of where Nebraska is and kind of our reassemblance, I guess, to the national stage that we're kind of trying to trend towards. So obviously you hear everything that everyone's saying, you read everything as much as people, want to say they don't or they try to avoid it. It gets to you somehow, right? So that week of practice, I mean, there is no scoreboard on Saturday, right? There is no game, right? So you're truly, truly focused on you, right? A lot of coaches, your coach speak, right? Hey, it's us, it's about us, it's about us. Well, during the season, it's kind of got to be about the opponent too. What are they about? What do they do? So that bye week gives you an opportunity to reset, refocus, get back to what you maybe emphasized earlier in the season, but also be able to, shift some things, right, and change some things. So again, the players sitting on that loss and being hungry and obviously hearing what people are saying and just not even hearing, just watching the film and seeing the mistakes they made and getting the coaching correction they got. That's important, right? So again, you say it's coach speak, but some of the most physical practices came during those bye weeks that I can remember, right? Because we had that time off, right? And we had that focus on just us and what we need to improve on to get better for the rest of the season.
Mm. Michael, you said something interesting there about, yeah, in season, like you always want it to be about you, but at some point you do have to think about the opponent. When you're looking at Michigan State, I think one of the things that I look at is, hey, this is a pass defense that struggled. This is a pass rush that struggled. If you're Nebraska, yeah, I'm sure you want to establish the run a little bit more than you have, but how much do you have to kind of weigh who they are versus what you're best at versus maybe trying to develop a different part of your offense?
Yeah.
I think if you got money in the bank, right, let's go get some more, right? So I think right, the passing game is the money in the bank in my eyes in this game, right? We know we can pass on this team. We know we should be able to protect Dylan a lot better than we did last week. So let's try to emphasize the run game because again, if it's not always about us, it's about who we're playing. We got more games down the road against teams that we're gonna have to be able to run the football when it gets colder, right? I mean, I don't know what Mother Nature is on, but she's a little late. It's 82 degrees out here in Kansas City, and
Listen,
it's
we're getting
October 7th.
we're getting 90 on Saturday. I almost cried. I'm like,
Yeah,
we're
like I don't get it. I don't know what's
I
going
did
on.
see 70s next week, so that's encouraging.
Yeah,
But
yeah. You got to watch for the week after. You never know. But we got to be able to run the ball right when it gets to November, December, and those games gets colder. And obviously, we're gonna keep like Butler. I think Butler said it, or maybe it's Dane. I think in his press conference, every game, he's been in the Big Ten. It's been a 1 point game, right? And so we're gonna be in those close ball games where either you're gonna have to, get a drive. get downfield, get set for a field goal, or you're gonna have to be able to run the clock out and keep the other team's offense off the field. So we have to establish a run game, get more consistent in that. Obviously, I think heard that we're gonna see a surprise or nothing we ever seen from a running back position as far as who the number two is. So I just hope it's action, less words, in that case, and let's see what we got, right? We know we got Emmett, but let's see if we got someone else in the on the sideline that can help us get some more explosive runs. And I think even just some yards after contact, just more positive finishes on some runs and things like that we can get downhill. But um yeah, I think we can pass the ball. I think we should be able to pass the ball this week, and the main thing should be let's emphasize the run, knowing that we can always get out to our outside guys and RPOs, isolation routes, and then if we can get the run going, that's when things become fun, right? In Memorial Stadium, right? We can get those big play action shots from the 50-yard line, get Dane isolated right out there, get some of our other guys isolated, and then we can make those big plays in the passing game. But I think their focus has to be let's get that run game going the best way we can.
So if you're trying to look at how you'd want to run the ball and you're Nebraska, we talk pistol versus offset, downhill, this inside zone, outside zone, gap scheme. If Michael Rose-Ivey wanted to be dealt fits with this wide receiving core, what wouldn't you want to see for Nebraska? What should they do? You know what I mean? MRI. If you're a defensive coordinator and you know they've got four good wideouts, a good tight end,
Mhm.
and Dylan, what ground game would you least like to see?
I think until they prove they can run it, I would like to see all of it.
You
Mm.
don't get that.
Because I mean, in my eyes, I mean, if you got those guys, we're probably going to play coverage over run, right? Or our coverage is going to take us to our run fit per se, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So we'll probably see a lot of split field, too high stuff, right? And if you've proven, right, on film 4 games, right, that hey, you struggle being able to run the football or create maybe some good enough push, right? Early on, let's light box it, right? We're going to play with a light box. We're gonna cover guys, right? And then as things obviously get, hey, you guys start picking up games, then we'll start to get closer into our fifth, start to get more, guys in the box and things of that nature. But no, obviously, yeah. I mean, if I'm looking as a defensive coordinator, right, again, if I feel like pass cover, especially as our weakness right now as a defense, right, I'm going to try to put as many guys in the pass coverage, right, this week, right, against a team that has wide receivers and a quarterback that can process right coverage and things like that at a high level. So I'm inviting you to run, right, and hoping that for one you can't, or two, you get bored with running the football, you get to passing, and now we're into our bracket type coverages, our things like that, and maybe we can confuse them with some looks and different creepers and pressures and things like that. So yeah, I light box it early if I'm a defense coordinator going against this offense.
you know what would be tough is if Nebraska got in like 20 personnel, but the second back was either Harburg or Lindemeyer or somebody
Yeah,
like that, where it allows you know what I mean, where
yeah. You kind of get the best of both worlds. You
you
get your
get the
three receivers
you get your
spread
three
out.
receivers out there, and you still can give some sort of two back looks. And I know the
Yeah.
concept is similar with how they motion and use Lindemeyer on duo with Harbor, but
Mm,
I'm talking about some a little more traditional looking H back
Mhm.
offset kind
yeah,
of
like lead.
like king queen lead. Well, you know I'm a big lead. I,
Yeah.
listen, against these defenses, any sort of lead or sprint is tough because it makes your adjusters have to play ball.
Right. Yeah, it gives conflict players, right? I mean, that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. I mean, each team has 11 guys on the field, DB, right? You know what I'm saying? But we got to cut the field in half somewhere, right, and make someone a run and pass defender, right, and put him in conflict and read him there. I mean, just
And
as
I know
simple as
they
pick
like
and
to
roll in
do it with
basketball.
RPO. I get it.
Right.
It accomplishes the same thing
Right.
schematically, but from a physicality standpoint,
Yep.
like that
Going back
wears
to what we talked about last week. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I think Ravi, you asked that question about the difference between running the ball and RPOs and just running it like downhills
Yeah,
last week. And
yeah.
goes back to that mentality. You know what I mean? I mean, body punches hurt. You know what I mean? You wear on a guy long enough, right? Start to fold over, then we can kind of take those headshots, right? So um the physicality of those lead plays, right? And I think Harburg and I think Lindenmeyer, I both think they can do that, do those type of things. Again, I think is more so it ain't. What is he trying to set up on the outside? Because I think that's what a lot of the run game is based on is what he's trying to set up on the outside. And there's no opinion on that. That's just a coaching philosophy. That's just what a coach does, right? Um, so again, I think it would behoove them to be able to run the ball with those more two back type of looks, true either under center or in pistol downhill type stuff. Definitely
And
help.
and I get it. The dilemma is taking one of your better receivers off the field, but I mean, just
Yeah,
you could easily do some version of 20 personnel
yeah,
and use it that way.
yeah. I mean, yeah, shoot. I mean, technically, should still be 11. I mean, you still got your 3 receivers
Yeah,
out
you
there,
can
so
call
I
it
mean, get some
11. Just
options.
line him
Yeah,
up someplace different. You put him in the backfield.
right, right. You know what I mean? So I mean, the option for versatility is there. Again, the guy with the main headset calling it into 15's got to, you know, what I mean, got to see that it's something that is worth value in their offense based on they're doing elsewhere. You know?
MRI, would you rather see two back and kind of what DB's talking about with kind of an H back or more prototypical lead blocker, or would you like to see more two back where you get a little more versatility where either guy could get the ball? Like I understand that puts
You want to make
I get you saying.
like Mosey or
yeah, because that would put the
Nelson.
defense in a different kind of conflict, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. We used to call it 20 speed, right? We had two backs in the backfield or as personnel. And that's tough, right? Because I mean you can get to your cross action game, you can get into if you have a traditional running quarterback, triple option type stuff.
Listen,
And even going out of that, the passing game, right now you got two backs on two linebackers, right? Maybe underneath that you can kind of work some type of combination. Even now with so much of the, motion to back out, right? Motion to back out for the swing screen, going to the RPO. Now you still got a back still in the backfield to be able to run that type of stuff. I think that would, man, Ravi, you're actually on something. Wouldn't mind seeing Emmett and Mosey in that, and Mosey motion out, and now you got an option to throw him the ball on that
he
on that
got that
swing.
from me, MRI. Don't let him fool you.
See, that's what we be talking
He's
about, D,
very,
right there.
very
Let him have his moment. Let him have his moment.
I'm sorry. Damn it.
Listen,
I forget you're in the class. This is dad. This is dad MRI chastisement. And you know what I want to say? I want to blame, complain, deflect, but
Uh,
and you're gonna be like, look, man,
I sound like me and my son's soccer practice, telling him to pass the ball. He refuses to pass the ball. So we're scoring goals, but the next thing is we got to get some assists. That's
listen,
the
man, you say 20 speed, and it brings back nightmares. It was 2015, 2016. I'm at another school and we're playing this school, Millard West, and they had this quarterback. I think it was his name's not relevant, but it's Jaska was the last name, and
Mhm.
they got in 20 personnel all the time. Both
Yeah,
backs could run it. He was fast. It makes it seem like the edge is set by your guards. Like
yeah, that's
that's
true.
how
Yeah,
that's how quick
mm.
it's on
I
you.
think the other thing is too,
It was an
especially.
absolute nightmare.
Yeah, this other thing too that I didn't really think about. I mean, traditionally these linebackers, like in this generation, see cross action from a tight end and a running back on two different levels. So it's kind of easier to see through the tight end and to the back, right? Now you go back to
Yep.
that cross action with them both at the level of the quarterback, and that's a whole different read there to a
Yep.
certain extent, right? Just because the depth of it and the different gaps that they can go into. Like not too often you see a tight end go from the opposite C gap to A gap, B gap, right? It's usually always to the edge, right?
Eh,
But
Mhm.
with that back alignment now, he has access to enter into A, B, C, D, and go opposite of the action too. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do there. I mean, shoot, we used to. I mean, I know back maybe it's more 21 too, but I mean that inverted power read that I mean Taylor freaking killed. I mean, we were in 20 speed a lot with Rex and Amir back there.
You know
Even had the
how
little
you know
triple
how
option off
short
of it
that
too.
you know how short that edge is?
Hmm.
I mean, it's on
Yeah,
you like right now.
right there. Yeah, and you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. It's tough.
Let me ask you. Let me flip over back defensively real quick because I brought this up to you. This might have just been between you and I. I don't know if it was on air. No, it was on air. We were talking about the conflict between fitting out of quarters,
Yeah,
fitting in
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
and kind of Coach Rule didn't seem like he loved to want to play quarters and fit in the run game out of it. But where do you think Nebraska ideally would fit in the run game if they're going to play coverage? You think
It's
it
always
is man is tough, but they
man.
want to play man.
And that's and I sent you that video on that dent technique. And
Yep.
this is where, man, I don't want to get too like schematical here because we can't really draw it up. But you have to find a way. If okay, if you're gonna and they like playing cover two, they like playing quarters, right? Right. If you're gonna do that, especially more with cover two, right? You're gonna have to steal a gap, right? You're gonna have to steal a gap because your force player is coming from your outside part of your defense, right?
Put him. You mean put him on the move?
Yeah. So in cover two, you can spill that, right? Because your force player's outside. Quarters, you can spill that because your force player's outside, which mainly is a linebacker.
Mhm.
Man is where it gets tricky. Where and cover three, we're not big cover three team, but any one high, right, where you
I'd
have that
like to.
safety up top.
They may have to put that in their bag later on in the season.
No, I definitely agree, especially in their man situations, right? Because if you're playing straight force and man, right, your fits have to be perfect. I mean, they got to be perfect. And what we don't account for, especially when you look at, I mean, I mean that Michigan run down the hash on the last one, I think with Marshall was kind of burned
You and I
in my
went through
head.
that thing
Yeah, I think I went through it too many
times.
times. I have dreams about it, right?
You
So,
and me
but
both.
when I'm looking
Listen.
at
I
that,
sent it to Ravi like 8 different stills.
like when I think about that, right, the leverage of the guards, I mean, took away the angle for any of the backers to get over top. And right, like I said, in those man situations, right, you got to be dang near perfect. Um, and so I think where you can still a gap or kind of get that ball to spill somewhat, or at least not get down the middle of your defense a little bit better, is by being at a dent in it. Basically, you're taking on the block like a base block, right? So if I get an out block from it by tackle from an end, right, I'm gonna play the outside half of them, right, and squeeze it down inside. Very similar technique, but you're doing it on the run, right? You're doing it on the run and then you're working to get inside and get vertical. So just eliminate vertical seams, getting the ball to bounce outside. You know, a lot of info out there on the internet if you really want to, talk, see more about it. But I think, like you said, I think it's something I think they can add into their arsenal. You can do that shooting cover two. You can do it in
I
cover four.
just
You can make it
I
universal,
get the
honestly, if you want.
sense it's either got to be in the bag or maybe I would just like it to be in the bag. We
Yeah,
go
that's what I'm kind of thinking. Yeah.
we go through it every week, and it's
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
like do
Yeah.
we? Don't we?
Even at the high school level, I mean, for us, like we started out like straight spill, like wrong garment, just running through, right? And we kind of got in the past 2, 3 weeks where now we got two things happen, right? We're getting more mobile quarterbacks, right? So if you're surfing and Denton, right, you can be 2 for 1, right? If I'm just getting straight inside zone, right, and I'm getting unblocked, I can take away the cutback of the
Wait
running
a
back
minute.
and
Who's teaching and who's playing surf technique at the high school level? I need to hire that guy.
look, if you give me a house on the beach in Lincoln, we can
Okay.
talk.
Okay. We've messed around with surf. It's tough.
It's tough, right? It's definitely tough. But it again, if it's the math, right? You're trying to steal two gaps, trying to steal that B gap and the C gap, right? You
And
know what I mean?
yeah, but you also need we got a guy. We're trying we got a guy. I just talked to him the other day, Owen James, who
Hmm.
but what happens is sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. So yesterday, he didn't get in the B gap, and I said, "Hey, are you using your surf technique?" And he goes, "No, I just didn't get there." So
Hmm.
like to flirt back and forth between it at that level, if you're
Yeah.
pulling that off, and he's really good. Like
Hmm.
that's impressive. But the goal is to steal two gaps with one man.
Still two gaps. Yep. Still two gaps for 1 man. Change the math. That's what it's all about, especially when the quarterback gets added into the math, as we'll see on Saturday, right? So, like you said, I think it's there. I think we might see it this week.
I
I
hope
don't
so.
see a lot of pulling action from Michigan State. They're a heavy zone. Like I mean they're even more than Michigan, right? As far
And
as not really pulling their
Nebraska can play
guys.
with twos too, so you may be a
Right.
little reluctant to pull
But
those.
other thing I thought about, and Ravi, I think maybe it was last week you asked about playing more base this upcoming week or more, keeping up with the stunts and movement and stuff like that. And I think this would be a good game to kind of see them just
Let's play it.
get off the ball, attack a man, play your gap, and let's play fast. Like again, I'm not looking down on Michigan State as opponent, but I feel like their O line is what their O line is. Just like everyone's saying, what our O line is, what our O line is, right? You are what you put on film consistently, right? Nothing more, nothing less. So I would love for them to come out, obviously get some pressure, but make it be through beating guys through your gap, right? Using your hands, getting off blocks. And Butler mentioned that the guys he doesn't feel like are getting off blocks as well as he would like. So I think that was probably a big emphasis for them as well during the bye week. So I would love for them to just play some base defense, play everybody has a gap, and just play fast.
Let me get you out on this MRI because now I'm all sorts of curious. Would you take violent hands or good feet on the D line if you had to start in the lab?
Violent hands. You
Okay.
can't teach it. You can coach it, but it'll never reach a level of somebody that just loves putting their hands on another man and taking them where you don't want to go.
Like
You
it
know what I
is.
mean? They'll never beat it. And I think you can teach footwork. A lot of that, man. Most of these kids that never jumped off that green box in the apartment complex, so they don't have the athleticism and flexibility we used to have. So you get them in the lab, you can get the feet and stuff, but the violent hands, especially these days, DB, you know how it
Is
is.
that a North KC guy talking?
South KC. Yep, yep. Hey, good old
It's
days.
like that mythical line going from south to north.
Yep, yep.
To west.
And you know the difference.
Yeah.
You
I,
know the
I know
difference.
I know when I
But it's
wanted
no different than
churches.
Omaha. It's
I
no
know when
different
I
than
wanted
Omaha.
church's chicken. I knew right where I must be on the east side. Hey,
Yep.
listen, jumping off boxes. You know who I think of, and he's still playing in the league, wrecking people today. Malik Collins' hands were unbelievable.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
And the thing about him though, he has the feet too.
he was, I called him a dancing bear.
Yeah, he
He
has the
was
feet
like,
too.
he was but his
I mean, he
hand,
was
something else.
he,
He
he was
reminded
a
me like
30. I want to say he was a state champion wrestler his senior year. I think
he
he won
was.
state.
He
Yeah, it
was.
was like 30-5 or something like that.
Yeah. His hands though, like he just had really, really violent. It was like Miyagi, right? Like
Mm-hmm. Yep.
he
Yep.
it's just hard
Still doing it.
when guys can't touch you.
Yeah. Yeah. Or when you touch them, they move.
All right, buddy.
Man, appreciate you guys, man.
Anytime.
Good stuff as always. That's Michael Rose-Ivey, former Husker high school coach down there in Missouri.
I can't have him living in Lincoln.